Hello there, guys. Welcome back to E&Ftv. This week, we are joined by David Byrne, VP of Sales and Partnerships at Asksuite. I'm really looking forward to this episode because we've actually had it in the pipeline for, I want to say, over 6 months. But it was my fault, so I hold my hands up to that. But I am really looking forward to having a chat with David, finding out a little bit about him, and also having a few we've got a couple of discussion points that I think are going to be very relevant for the current market. So yeah, really interesting stuff about to come. But just before we get into the episode, I just want to say to everybody that is watching, please do like the video on LinkedIn, like the video on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And if you've got any suggestions on who you'd like to see on the show, please do comment them down below. But without further ado, we're going to get into it. So David, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Thomas. Yeah, we got there in the end. It did take a while, but I think actually, you know what, everything happens for a reason, because the timing is, we're further on out of everything. So it's good to have this discussion right now.
Yeah, no, true. And as I say, I mean, I've appeared on Asksuite's podcast, I think twice now. And it's really great to be able to return the favor. So thank you so much for joining us. And I'm really interested to hear about some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. So I guess first off, what we like to do on the show is just to find out a bit about the guest, a bit about your background, how you got to where you are now. And I suppose really what your business does for your clients, but also the industry, because we do have a mixed audience, but a lot of them are coming from sort of either currently studying or graduating soon, or in sort of junior level roles. And it's always quite interesting then to hear about how different commercial, operational leaders have got to where they are. So yeah, please do. David, take it away.
Sure, no problem at all. And hello to everybody watching and listening in. So yeah, my path has been interesting. Look, without giving my age away, Thomas, I'm 25 years in sales, and I didn't start in sales, nor did I start in hospitality. So my journey has been really, really interesting. I'll give a short synopsis. Back at the very start, I actually studied law, so that's a massive surprise to people. And but I knew I wanted to move into a different career, because my only reason to make a move was that I love to talk. So I found sales, and I just couldn't believe out there that companies wanted to pay people to talk. So my sales journey began 25 years ago. But I didn't start in hotels or hospitality. I started with telecommunications, technology, and absolutely loved it. Had a real passion for just sales. And I suppose if I look back over all the years I'm in sales, I've made choices to move either industry or company based on what passion I had for that product or industry. So it made sense to keep moving, because in sales, the more passionate you are about the product and the industry, the more successful you're going to be and climb that career and ladder. So I worked for some of the world's biggest brands, including Sony. I worked there for 5 years, so I got great experience, and moved my way up into that kind of conference technology space, which was fantastic. But just to give a personal bit of background on how I ended up in hotels and hospitality is because since I was a child, I have this bizarre obsession with hotels. And then when TripAdvisor first came around, I was literally sitting every evening, driving everybody mad, talking about all these reviews on hotels. And it's just a passion of mine. And 7 years ago, I just got the opportunity here in Dublin. I'm based in Dublin, Ireland. And there was a tech startup who have had a great success story called Roomex. I knew the owner there, and we had a discussion about a possibility of jumping over into the hospitality industry, opening up the UK and Ireland business for them. And I just ditched everything and went for it, and just followed my gut. And so over the last 7 years, which has been the hospitality side, I've been in 3 different positions. I've worked for Roomex, and I took their Irish and UK business as far as I could, and they've gone on to bigger and greater things now. But that gave me that real kickstart. But I was selling to businesses, not necessarily to the hotels. So A company called Avail Pro, who are now called The Edge, owned by Accor Hotels, came knocking on the door. And I spent the last 5 years with them. So that was selling directly to hotels in the space of booking engines, channel managers, digital marketing, all that great technology that the hotels use. And I got a fantastic experience there, and excelled in that role to a sales director. And then last September, I ended up having a conversation with our current CEO of Asksuite, Rodrigo, about a position to head up their EMEA business, which for me made perfect sense in terms of a change of territory, a bigger territory, bigger responsibility, building teams. And the company Asksuite were hugely successful in the Americas, but wanted to launch themselves into Europe. So I really thought that was the right stepping stone for me at the time, with all the experience that I got and to gain more experience. So I made the move. So last September, I started here at Asksuite. It's been a roller coaster since. I've got to know so many people. I wear 3 hats in this role. I manage a team, a great team here in Europe, and I also sell. Never taken my sales hat off, Thomas. So it's still there. It's in me. The hunter part of me is still there, thankfully.
Fantastic.
And yeah, love it. And the third part is partnerships, which I'm really enjoying. So that's joining up with like-minded companies across Europe and globally that sell into the hotels and matching up with these, integrating our products. So I love it. I absolutely love it. It's a huge challenge. And but stripping all that away, the challenge, the whole lot, it really was the product as to why I made that move. I've gone from a company selling, I think, 8 or 9 products into one product here at Asksuite. That is, so just to give a bit of information on who Asksuite are and what do they do.
Please.
Sure. It's a hospitality specific artificial intelligent digital assistant. So I know that's quite a lot of a mouthful. If I was to resonate with people out there, we used to call it a chatbot, but we're stripping that away, because a chatbot is traditionally something quite robotic and just is an aid, whereas what we have here is very human-like. It's a public product, so it sits on the hotel's website, and its core functionality is to allow the guest to engage with a 24/7 product that they can find all the answers to all their inquiries on all social media platforms, engage with the hotel, drive direct bookings, which is the big ongoing fight out there in hospitality, and also help the hotels and support them with putting all the communication channels in one place. So really exciting product. The industry's ready for it. Hospitality's open. That's basically me in a nutshell.
Fantastic. And again, with regards to your sort of varied background, I can imagine it's brought a whole world of exposure, experience to the role that you've got now. So a lot of people in hospitality, it can seem quite insular, but I think what we're sort of realizing is everybody has come from some incredibly different backgrounds, but they've been able to bring that experience to the industry, which I think is massively valuable.
I couldn't agree more. So when I'm recruiting, Thomas, basically what I look for is a salesperson, is someone that's resilient and able to take on a role that they are really, really passionate about a product. We can teach the hospitality part. We can teach all of that. So what we can't teach is attitude and the sales part. So completely agree with you.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I suppose then, coming on from, when you were talking about Asksuite, why are AI assistants so important now for hotels, more than ever? In fact, I would probably say on my side of things. But what from what you've sort of seen in the industry, what is it that makes them so important now more than ever?
Listen, there's a global issue now on staff crisis. We know that. So that's across all industries, but especially hospitality, because if you put yourself in the shoes of a guest, the guest has an expectation arriving to the hotel door. They want customer service. They want good staffing levels. If they're not getting it, they're going to move on to the next property. They won't come back. So it's hugely, hugely problematic at the moment. So what that means is that we also study human behavior, right? So we're less patient now as people when we're looking for that next hotel break. We want to talk to the hotel at 8 o'clock at night when we're watching Netflix. We don't want to wait till tomorrow because now we're too busy. We want to engage. So what the hotels have to do, and we talk about this a lot when we're doing presentations, is that the hotels, the properties, the chains, the groups, they have to make themselves available to the guests 24/7. The issue that they have is they don't have the staff. That reservations department isn't open. It's on skeleton staff. So what we do is we provide that product that allows them to engage with the guests 24/7. And it's hugely, hugely important right now. And to be honest, I would say for the next couple of years, I think we're still stuck in that same rut. So it really is such an issue for them right now. The pressure is on. You walk into a hotel now, you can feel it, you know, the pressure that's on their shoulders. So more than ever, they want efficiency, they want speed, they want to get back to the potential guests as quickly as they can. So that's exactly why I moved into this role and why I took it on, because I knew we had the solution to solve this problem.
Right. And I suppose,
I
was going to say, that's one thing that hasn't been impacted is the guests' expectations. That expectation is still as high as ever. And if the delivery of the guest experience isn't there 24/7, that's when you're going to start getting these bad reviews. That's when you're going to start getting people complaining and so on and so forth. So I suppose having that tool, and from what you said as well, it's actually attached to the websites. So they've got it there at hand every single time, right? So as soon as somebody's got a question or as soon as somebody's got a concern, they just pop the question in and bang, you guys are there straight away.
That's it. As I did two, I was a panelist a couple of weeks ago on two different shows here in the Irish market, actually. And, you know, I had 2 rooms full of hoteliers, and I said, you know, my tip for today is to just put yourself in the guest shoes and do the journey from start to finish. I said, try it, sit on the sofa, go on your mobile phone, go to Google, go wherever you're going, start the journey, see where the frustrations lie, and see how quickly you are to make a decision to change your mind, move to a different property, move to a different city, move to a different town for that weekend break. So the hotel has to think, okay, well, how do we, and pre-stay, we're a pre-stay product. So we're at the very start of that journey. So once you open that laptop, go to Instagram, go to Facebook, go to your mobile, we are at that very front end. We are the first couple of seconds engagement tool, which from a human perspective can create the rest of that journey, whether it happens or not. So it's vitally important that they arm themselves with the right tech.
And I take it that that data is sort of being constantly communicated with the hotel, right? So if something is flagged, well, how does that work? So if somebody does have a concern, or they're about to arrive to the hotel and they want something on arrival, or whatever it might be, it could be a nice thing, it could be, you know, a birthday celebration and somebody wants something in their room. Does that sort of stuff communicate directly with the hotel? And if so, how often does that happen, or is it instant?
So it's instant. So it depends. If they, it's a great question, because if they have the right technology stack inbuilt, all of this is automated. So it can all be done without any person engagement. So for example, you know, on our product, we one of the things I do, as I mentioned in the intro, is partnerships. So I partner with the right companies, with the right products that we can integrate our product with. The reason we do that is all falls under the name of automation. So what we want the guest to experience is being able to make these decisions really, really quickly. Not just what our product does, but what another product might do, but the two match up in the background. So for example, to give an example of this, we can, on our front end assistant, if somebody puts in an existing reservation, we can connect to a software that suggests an upsell. So add those flowers to the room, get that upgrade. So it can all be done using technology. So, you know, don't be afraid of it, is what I would say. Engage in it, but educate. I think that's the huge thing, is to make sure that the properties are educating themselves as to what's available and what's available to integrate and make life very easy for the guest pre-arrival.
And I know from talking to a lot of my clients, they've been just due to necessity from, of course, the pandemic and so on, they've been heavily looking at their tech stack, looking at sort of new tech solutions to help with this type of engagement. Have you seen that with regards to Asksuite? Have you seen an uplift in sort of interest and sort of those conversations happening? Because again, if people are reviewing these tech stacks and there's solutions like yours out there, I can imagine there's very little reason as to why they wouldn't consider it, I suppose.
Yeah, if only everyone thought like you, Thomas, I think we'd be these products would be flying off the shelf.
Should I jump onto your sales team?
Will you send over your resume, please? But no, it's or I'll swap with you for a while. No, it's a great point, and this is the kind of rut that we're stuck in right now, because sure. we as a technology supplier and developer, we understand the pain points right now that the hotel's going through. So the catch-22 scenario is, we're saying we have this fabulous product for you that will solve some of your pressure off.
Yeah.
But we know you have a staff issue to implement it, and we know that you don't have time to listen to us about it. So we're kind of caught there. So what we do is we rely on partnerships for this. So if another company already has the product in the property, we'll get an introduction, and it's literally just trying to, make ourselves educational across social media platforms, including, of course, LinkedIn. This is why we continually do the likes of this chat here, podcast, which we're delighted to do, and our own webinars, which you've been part of. And that's to reach the masses with the education. Yes. Because the one thing I do find, in fairness, is that once any of our staff sit and have a conversation with a hotelier, they listen, they do listen, and they want to know more. So it's just getting them to sit and take a little time out to have a look at it.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now I spoke about sort of the data from one side in terms of Asksuite communicating with the property, but with regards to the guests' questions and their data, their details, all this sort of stuff, once that guest journey, once that experience has been completed with Asksuite, where does the data go? Where does that sort of get stored, or what happens with it afterwards?
Yeah, so when the conversation is happening, all of that information is being held on a piece of software that we provide to the property, and we call that the omni-channel platform. And what omni-channel platform means, pre-omni-channel properties were used to what's called multi-channel, and multi-channel is all your different chats coming in, and all your different queries and chats coming in across Facebook Messenger, Instagram, Google, WhatsApp, your website, your email, but coming at the hotel from all different angles. So you had people trying to multitask, get all of this information, and first of all, before they do anything with it, try and reply, try and store it into one area. So what we did was, our developers developed what's called an omni-channel platform. So right now, if a hotel purchases our assistant, they get on the back end, on the software, they get one funnel, one folder with all the conversations coming into one place.
Right.
It will represent Instagram if there's an Instagram badge attached to it. And it means that they can absolutely centralize all the information and at least reply much quicker. And if somebody's communicated twice through different channels, the software matches it together. So it's in its own way, it's guest profiling. But what happens next? So that's fantastic. The hotel centralizes the whole lot. They're getting speedier replies out to the potential guests, and hopefully they can convert them. What happens after that is, we can actually now integrate with a hotel's what's called CRM. So there are hospitality CRMs out there. These are products that clean the data. So they basically guest profile. So if you can imagine, a hotel without a CRM probably has 2 or 3 Thomas Finns that have stayed there. They could be sending you, subscribe emails based on something that you're not interested in, because they've got the profile wrong. So the products are cleaning the data. They call it data laundry, cleaning it up. So what we do is, all of our data, we integrate with that CRM and we push that through. So what happens is, all of the information is being kept, and the profiling continues to really narrow it down to have clean data, so that the hotel can retarget get those people to come back
Yeah.
based on what they like, not what they don't like. And because we're that leads into the conversation of direct bookings, and every hotel wants you book direct, every single one.
Yep.
Why? Because the booking is theirs. They're not giving a commission way. But, again, the data is showing that the person that comes back a second time and books direct, they stay for longer. They book a spa treatment, they book a package. And one really interesting piece of data is that we find it much harder from a loyalty perspective to cancel a hotel if we book direct, rather than if we book through one of the big OTAs. And we are proving to our properties that our digital assistant is driving direct conversion higher than expected. So it's given them a real dig out.
Yeah, I was going to say, it feels like the primary product, if you like, is the pre-sale. That sort of, you're at the start, but then the data, if you like. And again, I know you probably already know this, but I'm just voicing it through my own head. The data, if you like, acts as not a secondary, but it's at the other end of the process where the hotel can then use that going forward for future opportunities. So you're dealing with the pre and the post side, because if you can get guests coming back to your hotel, as you say, direct bookings, but also you're getting them to return, which is exactly what a hotel wants, right?
That's exactly it. Because what they want to do, they want to provide you with the best customer service. So if they know who you are and something about you, especially more in the 4 and 5 star market where the guest expectation is very high, that glass of red wine that you like in the bar at night, tiny little touches can really add to the overall experience. You end up leaving post-stay, you leave a nice review, and everybody wins.
No, exactly that. I suppose in terms of Asksuite then, so I know you guys are always incredibly busy because, as you say, I always see you on different podcast discussions, panels, and so on. What's going on with Asksuite at the moment? What have you got going on? Are there any developments or any projects going on at the moment and sort of going forward?
Yeah, so I have to say my hat's off to our development team, because they've been very, very busy, probably the busiest department in the company over the last year in developing our 2022-2023 roadmap. And we have some really, really cool features coming out, but the features that we're developing are based on the pain points of the hotel. So what we've looked at is, okay, we can develop a lot of stuff, but where is the pain? So I mentioned the omni-channel, which collates all the messages from Facebook, Instagram, Google, WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And last week we did a webinar where we launched our email integration. So of course, every hotel is still getting a high volume of emails coming in. And again, I did a demonstration to a 5-star hotel last week, and unbelievably, because of staff issues, their automatic reply was 48 hours before they can respond back to the guest. You're gone within that 48 hours.
It's too late. Yeah,
not a chance. So what we've done is we've gone, okay, we know this is painful. So how do we manage this? So what we've done is we've created email as another channel. So basically we receive, the hotel receives within the software, email is just another channel. So among your Facebook, Instagram messages, you have your email. We've created templates so it's quicker, so that the hotel can reply back to that email using our software. So what we're doing is we're not trying to take over the email platform. You still have that. But what we're doing is we're bringing a duplicate of the email in to allow the hotel to centralize the whole lot. So suddenly the reservation person has everything in the one place to respond back to the potential guest through all of these different channels. So that's one feature. We are working on something very cool that's coming now in the summer. I can't go into it in too much detail, but again, we're focusing around the pre-stay. We want to enhance that experience and make life as easy as possible for the property at the front. So all will be revealed very shortly.
Maybe we could get you on when that comes to launch and we can talk about it and tell people all about that. I'd be really up for that.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
No doubt I was going to get an email after this. But David, thank you so much. It's great to obviously hear about your background, but also, how you guys are actually impacting the industry rather than, of course, selling in the product. Don't get me wrong. But as I say, I do see you a lot out there doing panel discussions on podcasts, and that education piece is so important. That's partly why E&Ftv exists, because I always believed that these sorts of areas of hospitality, they sometimes need a platform. They sometimes need a space where they can shout about the positive stuff that's going on, because we have had a lot of negative stuff happen over the last 2 years. It's undeniable. But there's also some great stuff going on as well. And that all comes from individuals like yourself. And giving that platform is certainly something that I love doing. So thank you so much for taking the time out. I know how busy you are. And guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below on the LinkedIn page. We'd love to hear who you'd like to come on the show. And if you've got any questions or you want to get in touch with David or the team at Asksuite, I have no doubt that David would love to hear from you, right?
100%. We're fully available. We're all there on LinkedIn. It's our go-to platform. And just to return the compliment, what you're doing as well, Thomas, for the industry is fantastic to host stuff like this so we can get the messages out. E&Ftv are doing a great job, and Paula back at the HQ says a huge hello to you. So more than happy, and thank you for anybody that's watching.
No, fantastic. And again, I'll be back on your show, no doubt.
Yeah.
So guys, as I say, I'll put all of David's details below. If you'd like to get in touch with him and find out about what Asksuite can do for your business, then please don't hesitate to get in touch with him. But thanks very much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.